Welcome everyone back to Kenshi. So a bit of a recap from last episode. Last episode, first off, if you look down here, we lost a few people, which was unfortunate, however, kind of necessary. In between episodes, I did a little bit more research. I finished up the research that we started yesterday, which was defensive walls, and last episode we also finished up farming research. We also managed to lose our outpost in the process, but we hired some mercenaries to help us come take back our settlement. So the plan for today, because I've just kind of been looking around, we don't really have enough manpower. If we look over here, this can take 3 people, this can take 3 people. We still need people to man this, which can take up to 5 people. We don't need 5 people on that, but it would be useful to at least have some people on it. And we need at least 1 person to man the primitive forge, which will eventually turn into like a powered refinery. But we also need to go gather some wheat straw so that we can build up these wheat farms and eventually start cooking our own food, because if we look at our barrel, we do have a lot of simple grilled meat, but I don't know how long it's going to last, especially if we get more people. But I think our first goal for today is just going to be to upgrade all these walls. So I'm going to go through and upgrade each one of these walls, and then I'll come back once our new wall is finished. Alright guys, our first enemy of the day where we were upgrading our new wall. I've also set the new gate to do stuff, and it looks like there's a... Hold on, I'm trying to select it. An Oni. 50 attack, around 6 defense, 112 strength. I thought the cap was 100. Oh, maybe there's that mod that, there's a mod that changes the stat caps to 500. So that mod might be in here. So I'm just gonna back off and let our mercenaries deal with this. Yeah, he'll just keep working. To be honest, it doesn't seem all that tough. I mean, even these common mercenaries with like 30-ish in each stat are kind of destroying it. Its left leg is crit, and it's playing dead now. I'm gonna... Wow. Oni hazard shell lower. It's not worth much. It even has a crappy weapon. It was just kind of tough. I assume the only really expensive stuff you'll get off him is the authentic skeleton repair kit. However, our mercenaries have looting rights, so they're just gonna kind of loot all the stuff. Back to working on the wall. Alright, so my fears from last episode are a bit quelled, because last episode I was talking about how the original defensive gate wasn't really holding up very well, but it does turn out it does boost the HP by quite a bit. So we don't have to worry about being... Ooh, we can actually hire them for even longer. I think I might actually do that. Ooh, okay. They're actually doing it... No, they're not doing it for cheaper. I'm just going to do it for another 2,000 cats. Because... Who's attacking? It's still that Oni thing. Okay. It's pretty harmless. But yeah, that's pretty good. These guys are... I rescind my previous statement that they aren't great. They're okay, especially because a lot of them have around 30 to 40 in stats, depending on what they do. And a lot of their weapon skills are in the 40-ish range. So they're a little bit weaker than the town guards, but especially for now, because we don't have a whole lot of defenses or people, they're pretty good to have around. And I'm going to keep working on this wall. Alright guys, so we've just finished our new wall, and I'm going to say it looks pretty good. But from here, I think you can go up to tier 4 defensive walls, because if we go to like somewhere like Stack or Blister Hill, like right here, they have tier 4 walls. I don't know if we can make it, but I think we can. But our next plan is, I think we're going to send Chuck with some of our valuables. So that's just stuff like furs and other stuff. Like, we're going to sell off these standard first aid kits just because they're worth quite a bit, and we can sell this off and this off. This is the skeleton repair kits are worth quite a bit of money. If we look here, authentic skeleton repair kit is worth around 2,000 cats. I think at full health it's worth 2,500 cats, so it's definitely worth keeping around and selling. And yeah, I'll just go around and collect up anything that's worth selling, and then I guess we'll head to Stack. Alright guys, so now we're ready to head over to Stack, and I'll meet you once we get there. Alright, let's see what the general merchant has. Does he have anything worth buying? Ooh, 7 research books. That's pretty good. I think we're definitely going to buy those. First off, let's sell stuff though. So we're at around 11,500 cats right now. I'm just gonna quickly sell all this stuff off. Ooh, that's actually, hold on. Okay, we're not gonna sell off the standard first aid kits here because they have a low fencing chance. However, we can sell that, and that only raised our money by like nothing. How come it's only worth 380 here? I think we're actually going to keep the skeleton repair kit then. I'm going to buy all the books like that. And then it doesn't seem like it has anything else that we want. So I'm going to quickly check over at the skeleton merchant trader. And he also has a few books for us to buy, as well as some half-eaten books too. Anything else though? I'm mainly looking for farmer's notebooks. Any farmer's notebooks would be really helpful. Doesn't look like it. So actually, will we get full price here if we sell our skeleton repair kit? 380. Yeah, that's so weird. Usually you get how much the average price is when you sell it. So it's a bit odd how we're only getting 380. I'm gonna try selling that at a different city. Speaking of a different city, we're now gonna send Chuck off to Squin. Alright, we've just arrived at the general trader in Squin. Let's see what he has. He has 6 more. Ooh, what are those? Hive books. Okay, that's not that useful actually. However, this farmer notebook, there's only one. It's definitely worth taking. And we're gonna buy up all the half-eaten books. And I'm gonna buy up all the wheat straw that I can. Ideally, at a minimum, we need 5 wheat straw so that we can keep farming. So I'm gonna buy up all of the wheat straw. I'll just sell back some of it, and then I guess we can just spend the rest on books. Alright, we now have 11 books plus another 4 once we turn those into books. We're also gonna check out the bar because there's a special character check. Well, a unique character check that comes in, and they actually have some really high strength. So I've just combed through all the people here at this bar. It doesn't seem like there's anyone here, so I'm gonna start having Chuck head back up to our outpost. However, I'm gonna have him stop in the hub and Stack to see if he can recruit anyone. Something that I forgot to mention is that I picked up this triangle horn off of a triangle bandit, and it's a Model 3 Superior Remnant, and it's worth around 2,000 cats. So that's the reason why I have it. And I left my crossbow with Kathy. I left my crossbow with Kathy, so that there's more people around to defend the base, because Chuck can outrun almost everyone. Fortunately, on his way back from Squin, Chuck wasn't able to get any more recruits, but he can at least say that he got a bunch of research books, another farmer's book notebook, and 11 books plus the 4 from changing those into actual books. So what research do we want to do now? We could go straight for tech level 3. That would allow us to research faster, and we would have access to a lot of more stuff. However, how much would the mounted crossbows cost? It would cost 4. So we could go straight to tech level 3, as well as unlocking mounted crossbows. We could, I think, 2 wheat straw, 2 farmers. We can't quite do this one yet. We can't that. Anything else? Heavy weapons, crossbow bolts. That would definitely be helpful. That means we wouldn't have to go out and buy crossbow bolts. I think we're gonna have to go for crossbow bolts instead of tech level 3. Just because crossbow bolts are they're going to be so key to this series because we're playing ranged only. So we're going to have to go for that. Crossbow bolts. And is there a better... Because that'll only allow us to create toothpick bolts. So we'll also go for the mounted crossbows. Like that. Anything else that's worth like 1 book. Doesn't look like it. Oh, there's a few, but that's not all that useful. So I'll just allow them to research that up. And I'm going to have Chuck throw the books the half-eaten books into here. And then I'll make them all into books, and then we will be back. Something else to mention is that we also did get this wheat farm extra small up, and I'm just going to have Chuck manage that for now. Alright guys, so I figured this was a pretty good place to update you. First off, our mercenary contract has just ended, so they will be proceeding probably back to stack, along with their crippled crossbowmen. However, we have also finished the arrow research that we needed. If we go here, we can now make crossbow bolts. Only the toothpicks though, and a few other things too, like a hinge and a quiver, which is actually pretty helpful. But now, if we look at this bench, I don't know where it says it, but we need power. So our next research after Azumi finishes mounted crossbows and makes up those books is if we go to tech and we go to electrics, we're already here, and we go to wind generator theory. We're just going to do wind generator theory because it produces limitless power, and we'll only need to run over to stack and buy like a few electrical components. So there's something strange happening. You're not supposed to be able to get into this space where the Zealous Paladin is, and it looks like he's constantly committing a crime. It also says he has a 7,000 cat bounty on him, and he's trapped. So I think we're gonna maybe cheese it a little bit and abuse our ranged weapons. So I'm just gonna line them up so they don't hit each other. Corporal John. And then we can have them just shoot at this paladin because he's not gonna do anything. See, he can't even hit us. Alright. Yeah, he's 100% trapped. And he... What the heck? I've never seen that happen before. Anyway, I'm gonna have Chuck come over here. Oh, that doesn't sound like it's supposed to happen. Can you pick him up, please? Or at least loot him? What the heck? How did you do that? He's in like a place that you're not supposed to access at all. Alright, I guess we'll just leave him there. We can't do anything about it. Back to the research. Alright, I eventually did manage to get the paladin. Oh my god, look at his body. It's just covered in arrows. Anyway, who are you even wanted by? The Flotsam Ooh, he's wanted by Mongrel. You know, Mongrel is fairly close. Also, I just had to take that off of him so that we could move that. Mongrel is fairly close. However, I don't really want him going to Mongrel if he's running this slow. So I guess we'll just leave him to kind of bleed out. I mean, there's not much else that we can do. Alright. But we also got, all of his gear was high grade, so it's worth a decent amount. So I guess we'll just sell it off at the next place that we can. Alright guys, so I've done a little bit of a redesign for our defense section. So I'm going to be removing this gate and replacing it with this. So what does this offer? So first off, we have the sort of curtain wall. This is just kind of to protect the outer section. It's not going to have any really mounted crossbows on it. However, we then have the first gate. You come through there, and if you're an enemy, we're going to have crossbows all along here that'll just aim down and shoot at you. And then you also have a secondary gate, just to make sure that if they break through the first gate, they still have a second gate to go through. And each one of these has 100 HP, so they have to go through 200 HP of gates, which I hope in that time our crossbows will be able to take them out. While I was building up our new, actually it's just a little bit after the first clip, while I was building our new fortifications up, this holy crossbowman decided to hand-to-hand fight a bone dog. So I just yanked his ranger and his 2 crossbow bolts. So we're gonna have a new crossbowman. So I have decided that temporarily Kathy will keep the ranger crossbow. However, once Mitchell's arm is fully recovered, we will give him the crossbow because he's got a few stats in it. 21 crossbows and 12 precision shooting, as well as some attribute training. However, if you look at Chuck, he's actually doing pretty good for no focused training. He's got 30 perception, 12 dexterity, and almost 30 crossbows and 14 precision shooting. In fact, if it's the daytime, he actually has over 30 in crossbows. So we're not doing horribly for training. I guess that just kind of shows how violent and destructive... See, there's still fighting happening. I guess it just shows how violent and destructive Kenshi Blood and Sand is. Because in the normal game, you really gotta train up your stats. But in this, it's more of a passive try and survive kind of training. Alright guys, so we've just completely finished up the rest of our new defense corridor, and we even have 2 mounted crossbows on here, so we should be able to defend against most people that come. And it also means that everyone will have some kind of ranged weapon to use, no matter what. So we should even be able to take out, decent swarms of enemies, like a bunch of starving bandits, which doesn't sound very impressive, but to be honest, it really is, because we have no physical stats and they just beat us senseless. So these defenses are definitely going to be helpful in the future. But I think this is probably a good place to wrap up the episode. We've done quite a bit in this episode. We did a bunch of research. We got up these new walls. We've started up our farm over here. We've already had our first harvest, and our second one's almost here, and it's been turned into the startings of another one. We set up this entire combat corridor. Oh, look, there's a bandit raid. Depending on what bandits those are, we might have to flee, but I think we're going to leave that for next episode. So with all that said, if you guys did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Leave a comment down below if you want to have any input on this series. I'll also be naming characters, so if you want your name in this, I guess you could say, journey, feel free to leave it down in the comments down below. I read all comments and usually reply to them. But with all that said, I hope you guys have a great day, and goodbye.